I think it's going to be mandatory now that I dress up as her to get through these worst lists. Anyways. Hi everyone, JT here, and welcome now again with my final installment of List Season 2023. Yesterday, we went through my top 10 best movies of 2023, and now it comes down to this. It is time for me to do the list that some critics will say that they dread doing this list. But you know what? No, deep down, critics love doing these type of lists. It's time for my top 10 worst movies of 2023. I'm just going to be honest. Critics love doing worst lists. We as viewers of the YouTube critics particularly love the worst lists because we like seeing people rant and crucify these awful movies. And you know what? I will admit, I like doing this. I like roasting these movies. Me dressing up as Korra while doing it is also even more fun. So, yeah, even despite that there were some great major films that came out this year, there were bad movies. There were a lot of bad movies. And I made a top 10 list, and it was hard actually to find top 10 worst movies. But I managed to find some 10 movies that were really bad, and I'm definitely going to be ranting about them. First up, I'll just put in the criteria again. Number one, kind of like my best list, I didn't see all these movies. I didn't see on my list, or on this list. I didn't go see them. I didn't see all these movies. I'm not going to endure a lot of these bad movies. Some, though, I did. And it was a waste of my time that I could have done better in my life not watching. So, we're going to get through that list. No dishonorable mentions list because, believe me, I could, but I really don't want to. I think just this top 10 list alone is enough to deliver. So, without further ado, let's begin the top 10 worst list proper. Alright, beginning my list at number 10, we have DreamWorks' Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. I watched this movie when it came out on Peacock, and I will already say it was boring. DreamWorks is having a problem where they will make a good movie, like Boots in Boots, The Last Wish, but then we get something like Spirit Untamed that's super forgettable, super boring. And Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken, we have that inconsistency presented here. I was also Trolls Band Together is not on this list because that will mean I have to talk about the other JT. And I don't think we want to talk about that other JT, especially learning some revelations from his ex. Bottom line, this movie, though, is going to be on the list just because this was something original, it wasn't a sequel to any of the franchises, but it just felt so boring. That's what I mean. The trailer alone, let's be honest, the trailer spoiled everything about this movie before even watching it, which that's not good. When the trailer spoils it, that's not a good sign. Um, I liked the voice cast and the animation was okay, but the story just felt boring. A more so example is when I was watching this movie on Peacock, I cut to my phone and watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame live stream on Disney Plus. Yeah, that's bad when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame I prefer watching more than I did watching Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. Yeah, DreamWorks did come out with. Hopefully, DreamWorks needs to really stop and control these inconsistencies because I'm. No. I'm tired of this. Well, next year seems promising. I really hope Kung Fu Panda 4 is good. Number 9. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yeah, so yes, I know Winnie the Pooh is available in public domain. We do not need a horror movie Winnie the Pooh movie, a horror one. But that's what happens when a movie is available now, when a franchise or brand or character becomes public domain. People are gonna do free reign with everything with it, with no restraint. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is a perfect example of that. No, we don't want to see beloved Winnie the Pooh turn into a horror movie character. No way. And I didn't see this movie at all. No, I didn't see it at all. I'm not even going to dare to. Like, that's a great way to scar yourself, is watching Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yeah, it just blows my mind that that exists. That unfortunately is real. And it unfortunately will scar a lot of people later on growing up. They didn't grow up with Winnie the Pooh will now see this and will be scarred for life. Yeah. Now that Mickey Mouse might be now in the public domain, I feel like we're gonna be getting a Mickey Mouse horror movie next. We don't need that. Let's hope for that to not happen. Because Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is proof. Even just because the character is public domain doesn't mean making it a horror movie character is going to end well. It doesn't. It ends horribly. Number 8 on my list, The Exorcist Believer. This is again falling along the lines of The Terminator and Home Alone. The Exorcist does not need to be a franchise. Who asked for this film sequel to The Exorcist? The Exorcist is a horror movie classic. We don't need a sequel. And yet we did. And it's bad. No. Again, I'm not a fan of jump scares, and people, and Jeremy Johns particularly in his review said it best, jump scares. Stop with that. No. And I definitely do not need, the original Exorcist will stand the test of time. I very much doubt Exorcist Believer is going to be remembered greatly. It's not going to be. Because when I'm going to watch a sequel that is subpar from the original, when I can watch the original. Yeah, I don't know why I don't know who asked for a sequel to The Exorcist. I don't really think no one does. I don't even think my mom does either. Seriously, Exorcist Believer. Unnecessary sequel in a franchise that shouldn't be a franchise. We've proven that with The Terminator. We've proven that with Home Alone. It does not need to be a franchise. And what do you say? And when you know? We have a sequel to The Exorcist. No. Enough. Hollywood. Do something original. Don't use existing properties. More so, don't use existing properties that are of like iconic classics. Unless you are properly going to do it properly. And from what I've learned, The Exorcist Believer was not handled properly. And I doubt that there's going to be people going back to seeing The Exorcist Believer in 50 years or 40 years' time. Yeah. Number 7 on my list, the 2023 adaptation of Disney's The Haunted Mansion. So, for some reason, Disney thought it was a smart move to release The Haunted Mansion 2023 during the summer. It would make more sense to release this movie in Halloween. But you know what? I don't care what day it was released. I didn't go watch it. And rightfully so, because say what you want about the Eddie Murphy classic from 2004. I'll take that over this film any day. At least I liked Eddie Murphy, of course. I prefer his comedy. Even when it's in his family-friendly sellout phase, he will still hit sometimes, and the Haunted Mansion was one of those. We did not need a new adaptation, especially when I didn't even know this was coming out, And also, it came out right as the actors' strike was happening. Yeah, Mickey and Minnie Mouse ended up being scabs on the red carpet. Again, just there was no need for this. Who asked for this? Not me. You know it's bad when people are saying the Muppets Haunted Mansion is 10 times better than this Haunted Mansion. And yeah, Disney is not going to be treading lightly. Disney will be making another appearance on this worst list as we near towards the end. And believe me, it's going to be very important later on when I talk about Disney on this list. Okay, number 6, we have Retribution, new film with Liam Neeson. You know, I didn't watch this movie. Again, a lot of these I didn't watch because I'm not wasting my time watching bad films. I just look at clips and other reviews of it. And watching Jeremy Johns' review, coming to this conclusion that Liam Neeson is kind of in this phase like what Elvis was in the 60s where you know him for being in a certain niche of film. In this case, action, terrorist, kidnap, hostage-like scenario type action-y film. Retribution is where we kind of get a little bit ridiculous with this. He drives his daughter in a car. There's a bomb underneath, a pressure plate under his car that if he doesn't do this thing with the money, they'll blow it up. Despite the action sequences where surprising the thing didn't blow up already during it. Yeah, it's just it's a formula. It's like with Suzume. Liam Neeson's in this formula that you know him for. And I mean, sometimes it hits, but sometimes it misses. And this one definitely was a big miss that I didn't even know was coming out this year. Yet it did. And again, I didn't see this movie, so I really can't make a big judgment other than that just the premise alone that I heard about this movie and the spoilers shared with me. I hopefully maybe Disney will get Liam Neeson to do the Obi-Wan Kenobi series if we're getting a season 2 of that. But man, that was a Liam Neeson has a much expanded acting range than doing these action movies. I saw the movie Suspect, the movie he did with Cher. Come on, Hollywood, stop keeping him in this formulaic formula. That's all I'll say. Because this was not retribution. This was degradation. Okay, number 5 is the movie 65 with Adam Driver. I completely forgot this movie came out this year because so much came out this year. And this movie came and went. Kind of shows really how forgettable it was. And now I remember, then I watched Swell Entertainment's video of this film, and I'm like, oh yeah, this movie, Adam Driver, dinosaurs, time machine, something with his daughter, something sick. Oh. This felt like a January movie to a T, and I don't even think this movie came out in January. This movie was bad, forgettable. I didn't see it again. Again, I didn't hardly clue that this even came out this year. It was like Adam Driver can do better than this, and it seems like he has. But, I didn't like 65. I mean, really with dinosaurs and stuff. I don't know. It just feels like he was forced to do this. It was just, no. Again, I have really brief things to say because really just these movies don't make sense. But the next movies on my list, I have a lot to say. So let's just continue on to kind of get this over with. Number 4 on my list, Zoe 102. Now, I'm a Gen Z. There have been moments when I was younger that I remember watching Zoe 101 as a kid. And heck, look at me. I'm dressed up as a Nickelodeon character. Um, Zoe 102 is a perfect example of nostalgia that just we don't need, let alone that wasn't uh, implemented properly. This movie was boring. It was an hour 31 minutes long. It felt like 3 hours. Um, Jamie Lynn Spears. You know, I remember when I had a somewhat crush on Zoe. I regret that now. I did not like her in this movie. I was confused, and I said it in my YTSR. Um, Quinn and Logan and Quinn were a thing. I did I, I did not know that. I knew about Zoe and Chase. I knew that was a big ship. Logan and Quinn, no, I did not. I did not know that part. It seems to. I saw clips in the Nick Wewine YouTube channel. They were a thing. I didn't remember that. But really, this movie was just so bad. This movie felt rushed. You could tell that the writers, everybody got, look, we got that. The WGA and the SAG-AFTRA, their strikes are imminent. We need to get this done. Like, you can feel like they were rushing this movie. You know, it's bad when even Alexis Nicholas was confused by it, which I'm on her side. I think we really need to stop trying to reprise or revive Dan Schneider-like projects, particularly knowing his legacy, tainted legacy. We really shouldn't bring nostalgia about him. Even though I know the live-action iCarly was great, and I feel bad for the fans who are fortunately disappointed by its cancellation, which wasn't a surprise to me. As a Fidgy Train fan, I feel your pain. This movie was so unnecessary, and where we could have had maybe a Ned Stay Classified or a Keenan and Kale. I mean, we did get the Good Burger movie, which I don't know if I'll watch that, but we had to get Zoe 102, and that was just disappointing. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail of all the drama surrounding Jamie Lynn Spears, Alexis Nicholas. We all know about it. We're all aware of it. But that alone I won't say that was a factor. It did heighten my excitement. This did lower my expectations. But man, this movie felt bad than I thought it would be. And it was just boring. It was all over the place. It felt rushed. It fell flat on its face. We did not need this movie at all. We did not need anything when it came to Zoe 101. You know, we might look back at Zoe 101 with rose-colored glasses, but this sequel just unfortunately took off those rose-colored glasses, and we saw the unfortunate dark facade when it came to the legacy of Zoe 101, and it's not pretty. And this movie just was unfortunate, and also my interest in Jamie Lee Spears has long gone. She was terrible in Dancing with the Stars. My grandparents said so. My grandparents say that your dancing sucked on Dancing with the Stars. Your dancing sucks. Well, at least Jamie Lynn Spears has that Steel Magnolia show on Netflix. Because I'm not watching that. And boy, this movie, never going back to it ever again. Okay, number 3, this is the last movie that I didn't go watch, but I heard about it. Johnny and Clyde, starring Megan Fox. Oh, yeah, that's a this action-y film with Megan Fox interpolation of Bonnie and Clyde. That description, and all I am aware about this movie is what ARTV shared in a recent video about drama behind the scenes involving Megan Fox's ex,, had with one of the actors of this movie, getting into a fight with him. That's all I know about this movie. But this movie sounds bad. It seemed from the reception I've seen, it was bad. And yeah, Megan Fox and this modern spin of Bonnie and Clyde, it sounds bad. Um, Megan Fox has one appeal only, and that is to look great on camera. That sounds harsh, you know, but I'm not a big Megan Fox fan. And Johnny and Clyde is an encapsulation that her acting was bad, and that where's Michael Bay when you need him? I don't want to be harsh, but I mean, I don't even want to imagine how this movie was. Megan Fox in this modern spake of Bonnie and Clyde? No. No, no. No. What am I saying? I didn't see this movie. I just. I'm not wasting my time just knowing everything I've heard about it, seeing clips and the trailers. Like, I don't need to waste my time watching that movie. And speaking of, number 2 on my list, there have been films this year that have come out that cater to a certain demographic. The silent majority. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Okay, there were films that mostly a big audience of these films are for conservatives and evangelical Christians. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's kind of it. However, where films like Sounds of Freedom and The Blind excelled to appeal to people of this said demographic, unfortunately, one of them own couldn't do it. It was a movie where, after watching the trailer and watching the clips, made me very much scratching my head in what was this made for? Who is this for? And it surprises me that Glenn Beck, of all people, released this. Number 2 on my list is Reopening, a movie comedy released by Blaze Media. Yeah. I don't know what this is. All I will say is, if there's one thing that turns me off, either in comedy or drama, anything themed to COVID. I don't care if it's comedy or dramas. Anything with COVID themed in it, no. Oh my god. When I saw the trailers and I saw a few of the clips of this movie, it boggled my mind that this movie got made, let alone why people will find anything interesting about making fun of social distancing and everything of that. Because that's what this movie is. It's about this community stage theater reopening after COVID and the lockdowns, trying to do social distancing protections, all in a very comedic, hilarious way. And just looking at the clips and everything, no, I don't want to see that. And it just boggles my mind because this movie Reopening tries to be like, say, Modern Family or The Office. And while I love mockumentaries, do I really want to watch one themed to COVID? Absolutely not. I find it funny because I looked up on IMDb. One of the writers and directors of this movie starred on Modern Family. And it made my mind scratch my head in seeing how an actor had a supporting small role in Modern Family, which is kind of a very progressive show, would end up writing and directing a movie like this. And he had to be aware, there is very much 100% that he was aware that no major Hollywood studio was going to take this. So he kind of felt like somebody that views Republican or conservative was going to get it. And I guess somehow he got in contact with Glenn Beck and he gave him a deal and they greenlit this thing and it was released exclusively on Blaze Media. That is all I can think about when I think of Reopening. This movie, No, I don't want to watch something dealing with COVID. I don't care if it's for comedic purposes. And somehow this movie, it got positive reviews, which that could be because it's a small audience. Because who pays for Blaze Media? I don't, and I'm very sure there's a small audience that does. But it surprises me that this movie exists. I'm never gonna watch it, and I don't want to. And a company like Blaze Media, I don't think should be even trying to do full-length movies. No, just absolutely not. But luckily for you, Glenn Beck, Reopening is not the worst movie of the year. No, there was worse. My number one pick of the year is a movie that bothered me. And it's just disappointing because this studio celebrated its centennial year. And unfortunately, I had to endure watching this forgettable film. Oh, Disney, why? Here it is, folks. My number one pick for the worst movie of 2023. Yeah, Peter Pan and Wendy. So, I watched this movie for review purposes. I did a YTSR of it. And I was more solely focused on doing my documentary, working on that, than watching this movie. This movie bothered me. This movie encapsulates why I'm so jaded and so over these Disney live action adaptations and that they've gotten so out of control. This movie takes the legendary 1950s classic Peter Pan, suck out any of the heart, any of the soul, emotional core that the original film had, sap it out dry, and then live action characters, you name it, you get this. I don't want to shame the actors who played this movie. And before any of y'all ask, no, Little Mermaid's not on either of these lists. I liked it, but it wasn't enough to be either on my best list. And it wasn't bad to be on my worst list. The one song number is on my worst songs list. But Peter Pan and Wendy was worse because this one encapsulates what's just so wrong. The big core problem with these Disney live action remake. They lack heart. They lack the emotional core the original movies had. It's the same problem I had with Mulan. It's the same problem I had with Beauty and the Beast. They and The Lion King, they don't have any of the heart and the charm of the original animated film when I can just watch those. And Neverland doesn't look like it's Neverland. Barbie Land looked like Neverland. The story, we're really going to try to put Captain Hook in the thing of Disney villains, trying to be good, everything like that. We're really going to do that. No. And just, right side, better Native American representation. Good, great, positive, good progress there. Still doesn't change the fact this movie is boring, hollow, and lifeless. That is the biggest sin about this movie, it just lacks the soul and the charm that made the original animated movie such iconic and timeless. And the more that I'm learning and hearing that allegedly this Disney movie, live action adaptation coming soon, live action coming here, coming that, there. Can we stop? We don't need more of this live action adaptations. We don't need all these many. We definitely don't need a Moana one. That movie is not even turned 10 yet. It just frustrates me that, with Disney saying that we need to cut here, Marvel, Star Wars, you need to cut these Disney live action adaptations. We don't need more of these. And Peter Pan and Wendy was just the straw where it just broke the camel's back, where I'm just done. You know? I like animation. And why am I going to bother with these live action adaptations when I can just watch the original animated on my Disney Plus subscription? Really, there's no point to them. And just this company just going so overboard with it. Like the executives think that this will be good money making when it seems like not likely, except maybe a few. I'm very much scared of the future of Disney right now. You know, I feel like we're in that Michael Eisner era in the 2000s where we're really declining right now. Maybe even worse. The parks might be doing well, but the film, television divisions of this company are really concerning me. And Peter Pan and Wendy is an amalgamation, really, of what I am just tired of with these live action remakes and what I feel is just a negative display of what I know that this company is better at doing. So, I mean, I have not much to say. This movie, it was so forgettable. I don't remember any parts of it. I just remember how boring, hollow, lifeless, and lacking any of the heart of the original animated film when I think back of this movie. That's all I think about. And it just bothers me because it makes me scared for what lies ahead for the future of Disney. So, yeah, Peter Pan and Wendy is my pick for the number one worst movie of 2023. And that's it. That is my list of the top 10 worst movies of 2023. What do you think was the worst movie of 2023? What was your top 10 worst movies list if you made one? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you again to all my subscribers who have been supporting my channel and helping it grow. You know, it is amazing how much I've posted on this channel in this past year. And I want to thank you all for supporting my content if you can. Please subscribe if you're new here. Drop a like if you can. Share this if you can on all your social media platforms. I will be doing, of course, a New Year's Day message once it's midnight on a YouTube short. Kind of what I did this year on New Year's Day. I will let you watch that there and I will share it out. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on what I have planned for this year. So, until then, thank you all for watching. This is JT, signing off.